What's going on? Oh, hang on a minute. You can't actually hear this, can you? We'll have to change that, folks. Oh, the sounds of music in my ears make me want to drink beer. Well, cider really. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Hello chaps and chapesses, it's me again, your local lakey bloke brewing chap kind of person. I was going to leave it till next week until I spoke to you about strawberry turbo cider type brews. Now, I've had a rethink and I got so excited by it, but more importantly, I got thirsty. Yeah, I got thirsty. And, you know, the kit ciders that I had lying by one side, and here's one now. Ding! That's a Samson kit cider. It's okay. It's a little bit thin, as I said in the previous brews. I put some raw apples in there as well to give it sort of a little bit of appley taste. It's okay. It's only about 4% though, so nothing too exciting. However, look what I've got here, folks, in a plastic PET bottle. It's my Strawberry Ribena Brew Turbo. I was going to say cider, but it's not cider because it hasn't got any apples in it, you see. So here we go. I'm going to open it now. Let's have a listen to the fizz. Let's see if there is one. Ah, there's a little bit of fizz there. And here, handy to one side, is an Aspel glass that I acquired on a trip out to a pub one day. And if you look at the bottom there, you see in the previous video I was talking about nucleation at the bottom of the glass, and there you can see yourself at the bottom of that glass, inside, it's not on the outside, right, it's on the inside of the glass, there's the Aspel logo. Can you see that? And what that will do is it will help to keep the bubbles going in the glass once I pour this Strawberry Ribena Turbo drink into it. So here we go, chaps. No one's more excited than, well, me really. Well, in fact, they probably are more excited than me, but no one is more excited than me than someone who is pouring a Strawberry Ribena Turbo cider. Oh, I said I wouldn't say cider. Drink into a glass at this precise moment in time. So there we go. Look, that's not too bad. There's still some sediment at the bottom of the PET, as you would expect. Whenever you do a turbo brew, always expect some sediment at the bottom of the plastic bottle. Now, as you can see, if I put this up close here, there's roughly a line around there. Can you see that? I don't usually drink anything that's below that line because it's usually rubbish, you know, it's the dregs of what's in the bottle. And unfortunately, not really very much you can do about that. At the bottom of the bottle you're always going to get some sort of sediment, and you need sediment anyway in the bottle to get your fizz, because if there's no sediment in the bottle, there's no yeast in there, then when you go to carbonate your brew there'll be nothing for the sugar to feast on. In other words, there'll be nothing for the yeast to eat the sugar type stuff. Well, you know what I mean. Anyway, look, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. That's not bad, is it? That's a lovely fizz on that. There's the Strawberry Ribena cider, and that's a fantastic fizz on that one. Look at that. I'm really impressed with that. I do like fizzy brews. Not too fizzy, but then again it depends on the type of the brew that I'm drinking, okay? I like a medium fizz, medium to a full fizz. I find sometimes, depending on the type of brew I've done, if I do an apple cider, occasionally, if there's too much fizz in the brew, it tends to give you a little bit of heartburn. Might just be me. Hey, I'm getting on a bit. I'm in my mid-40s. Things are going to happen. Things are going to stop working. You know, I'm going to get the odd bit of wind and heartburn and stuff, who cares? But this one is really rather quite nice. And I'm going to talk to you in a minute as to how I did it. So I'll be back soon. Oh, there you are. I wondered where you went to. Where did you go? Why did you take so long to come back? Oh, I was expecting you. Right, so, as I was saying earlier, here's the Strawberry Ribena Brew. Really nice fizz on that one. Well impressed with that. And as you can see, here we go. Look at the bottom of the glass there on the inside. You can see the bubbles coming up from the nucleation point in the glass. Fantastic. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Very impressed with the fizz on that one. More than happy. Okay, so what did I put into this brew? Well, if you look at other videos on YouTube, BrewTube, should I say, I have to correct myself there because, you know, if you're a bit of a brewer, you don't call it YouTube anymore, you call it BrewTube. Yes, it gives it that sort of brewy type feel. If you're a fellow BrewTuber, or you're a fan, you would already know that many people by now have done their own version of a strawberry turbo Ribena type brew thing. So I'm going to explain to you now what it is that I did with this particular fantastic looking, fantastic smelling brew. In the early days I tried using real strawberries. Okay, so what I did is I got a demijohn, I filled it up with apple juice, blended up some real strawberries in there, probably around about 400 grams, 500 grams of real strawberries, chucked that in. Obviously there was some mulch in there, and I put a load of sugar in, and it came out at about 9%. Now, as I said earlier in my other video, not everyone likes cider or drink or alcoholic drink at 9%, right? Some people do, some people don't. I myself, low alcohol person, 4.5%, 5%, happy with that. But a friend of mine took it away, shared it with his friends and family, and they loved it, and it was around about 8.5 to 9%. But this time round I didn't use real strawberries. This is all done with Ribena. Yeah, that strawberry drink that we all used to love as kids. What I did with this one is I bought a bottle of the concentrate. You know, you usually put some water in there, and you know, you get it how you like it, and you sip it away, and it's rather nice. Everyone loves Ribena. Who doesn't love Ribena? I love Ribena in cartons. Yeah, it's nice. And you know, it's just a fab drink to have. It's really sweet, beautiful strawberry infused flavour in the drink, and there's no reason why it shouldn't work if we put it with some alcohol. Alright, stuck some yeast in there. Don't tell anyone. It's between you and me, right? And the millions of YouTube viewers, or should I say BrewTube viewers. Yeah, see, I'm learning. So with this one, I boiled 300 millilitres of the concentrate in a pan with well, actually on its own. I did it on its own for about 10 minutes because I didn't want to go too mad on it. And you know, to be honest, did I really need to do that? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you know, some people say the Ribena's got lots of concentrate and crap in there that you probably should boil off. Certainly the litre bottle stuff, the litre carton stuff, hasn't really got very much in it. You don't really need to boil that up, I don't think. But, you know, with the concentrate, why not? We'll boil it up just to make sure that we get rid of all of the nasties. Only boil it up for about 10 minutes, and that does the trick. Okay, that gets rid of all of the nasties. And you may wonder why, folks, and I'm going to bring you this way with me, why I'm looking over this way like that, right? And it's not because like I've got a tick or anything. It's because over here, there you go, you see that spreadsheet there? Now those little squares there are records of all the brews I've done in the last 8 to 12 months. The ones in red are the ones I really didn't like. Not going to do them again. And the ones that are in green are the ones that I probably would give another go, and they turned out alright. Certainly I have found brews that I've coloured yellow because I wasn't really sure at the time I tasted them whether I wanted to give it another go or not, and I would probably have another little go at it, maybe possibly using a different type of yeast, maybe not so much sugar, depends upon the type of brew that I did at the time. So what did I do? I boiled up 300 millilitres of the Ribena juice. I poured 3 litres of apple juice. Now, it was normal supermarket apple juice. I haven't actually got it written down on the computer what supermarket it was. End of the day, doesn't really matter, okay? You can use Sainsbury's, you can use Tesco's, you can use Asda's, you can use Lidl, you can use Aldi, right? Other supermarkets are available, folks. Doesn't really matter. I'm not saying that one supermarket's juice is better than any other. Juice is juice, right? Especially if you're putting alcohol in it, because at the end of the day, you know, you're taking a lot of the flavour out by making it alcoholic, and it's all about experimentation anyway. And after a while, you know, maybe doing a brew for 6 to 8 months, you'll find a supermarket brew, supermarket juice rather, that suits you. I've found one, it so happens, from Lidl's that I like. Right, really nice. It's turned out better than any other apple juice I've used in any turbo cider, but I'll talk about that in another video. In the meantime, back to this. So you need to make sure that you've got your boiled Ribena juice. 10 minutes, right? No longer than that. Don't leave it on for too long. Make sure you put your juice in the demijohn before you put your Ribena in, because the Ribena is going to be hot after you've boiled it, and there's a chance of your demijohn getting cracks in and all sorts of things. I've never actually seen it myself. I've never had any troubles with demijohns going or bang or whatever, but I may have just been lucky. Okay, now we want to avoid all of that sort of things, especially if you're using the plastic ones. Now, if you go to any supermarket, you can buy 5 litres of water in a plastic bottle, which is ideal for using as a fermenting vessel. So you don't have to use a demijohn, glass demijohn. You can use a plastic bottle that you get out of the supermarket. Fantastic. Probably about £1.50, something like that. Certainly a lot cheaper than you would pay if you go to your local homebrew shop. They'd probably charge you £2.50 or something just for the plastic, empty plastic bottle. Don't need to do that. Go to Asda's, Tesco's, or other supermarkets are available, folks, and you can get yourself some water. Now you can either, if you're doing a big batch, right, use that water in a big batch of cider, or chuck it down the sink, drink it, do whatever you want with it, and use the bottle as a fermenting vessel. I've done that, other brewers have done that. Doesn't really make any difference, right? Because all you're using it for is to make sure that you've got something to put your juice in, put your yeast in, let it bubble away. Fantastic. Job done. So all that's in this, chaps, this glass here. Oh my, that's lovely. Oh, might have to have another sip. Excuse me, why don't you just go away and entertain yourselves for a minute, and I'll be right back. Hello, have you finished? Fiddling with yourselves, you naughty, naughty boys. Right, okay. So the usual stuff goes into the brew, right? And I could leave it on the screen there, but why would I do that? You want to look at me, right? Pectolase, again, as I said in my other video, do you really need to use it? Probably not, right? But we'll stick it in anyway, doesn't really matter. We throw a teaspoon of pectolase in, 2 teaspoons of malic acid. Again, probably don't need to use it, doesn't really matter. Would it make much difference if you didn't use it? Arguably, you know, some people would say yes, some people would say no. I tend to use malic acid and pectolase in all of my turbo ciders, okay? So that's the only reason why I've done it in this. Threw it in anyway. So malic acid, 2 teaspoons. Pectolase, 1 teaspoon. super wine yeast I used in this instance. Okay, don't have to use super wine yeast. You can use cider yeast, you can use owl yeast. A lot of people have had really good results using Nottingham owl yeasts in turbo drinks, specifically apple drinks and things. I've used it myself. You know, arguably it makes a difference, but the jury is out. The jury being me in this instance. I haven't really found that it makes a hell of a lot of difference between using a normal cider yeast. So I'll stick to cider yeast because I know they turn out okay, and super wine yeast tend to dry the brew out a little bit. Now you're asking me, you're saying, Roy, because that's my name, Roy, you're saying, how did you get it that fizzy? That's bloody marvellous, that is. Look at that, look at the fizz in that. That's better than a fizz in something that's quite fizzy, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you. When I bottled it, rather than using the Cooper's drops that you get, now all brewers use Cooper's drops, I imagine, I have used it. I don't like them myself. I've used them for, you know, quite a long time, and I've found the difference between using Cooper's drops and using ordinary sugar, granulated sugar, brewing sugar, caster sugar even. I've used caster sugar to carbonate my beers. It's great. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. These are 500 milliliter plastic bottles. For 500 milliliters I will use a teaspoon of granulated sugar, or any other sugar, as I said before, or 2 to 3 Cooper's drops. I say that because some of the beer brewers out there will go, oh, you don't need that much, that's mental, you know. But beer, let's remember, beer doesn't have as much fizz in as perhaps some of the commercial ciders do. And I like to try and get as close to the commercial ciders as I can. So, a teaspoon of sugar in every 500 ml bottle. That's it. You bottle it up, you stick it in a warm place for about 2 weeks, and then you move it into your shed that's out in the garden or into a much cooler place. Leave it to age for 3 to 6 months. Generally, I've found brews are okay to leave for about 6 months in plastic bottles. Beyond that, can't really say. My brews go way back to December. The ones I started in December I've already drunk, because much like anybody else I do like a brew. So the brews that I've got around at the moment are from March, and so we're talking about six months, and they're fine, you know, they're fine to drink, absolutely fine. So as I say, it's nice and easy. Brew it up, drink it, smell it. The strawberry smell, oh my god, it's amazing. Okay, it's really nice and sweet. When you drink it, it really hits, you know, those sort of citric taste buds that you have in your cheeks there. It really hits it, and the flavour is amazing. So I'll give it a go. You might like it. There's many other videos on BrewTube. See, I remembered then. That show you exactly how to do it, and they've got step-by-step processes. I won't go into it really because everybody out there has done it, and you can take look at Brewmaster Ben. You know, anyone. Uncle Jonah's had a go himself. You know, loads of videos out there showing you how to do it, but it's not that difficult, chaps. It really isn't. Stick it in a pan on the heat. Boil it up for 10 minutes, chuck it in the demijohn, fill it up with apple juice, put some wine yeast in, malic acid, pectolate, don't have to, it's up to you. Stick it somewhere and let it ferment for 2 weeks. Bottle it up, teaspoon of sugar, that will carbonate it enough. 3 to 6 months later, pour it out and you'll get something like this. So, thanks for listening again. I'm getting into this video stuff now, so I'm getting really excited. I might do 1 or 2 more. So keep tuned, and happy Homebrew Wednesday.